up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up.
Y'all got Kool-Aid hot.
Fired up. But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
All right.
Here we go.
Out of the gun.
Oh, nice pitch to Amon-Ra.
Throwing it back to Jericho.
No!
Back to Jericho!
Back to Jericho! Let's go! Oh! What the fuck? What the fuck was that? The hat. Wow. Bro, I'm in disbelief, bro. Forward down the field. We got an Amon-Ra St. Brown pitch and a throw to Jerry Goff in the end zone, bro. Wow.
He dropped it in the basket,
I love this football team, bro.
Talk about a victory Monday. Chase, man, let's get that music cranking. Flannel Sam, let's go. I'm sorry. Let me be a little bit more appropriate on a victory Tuesday, actually. It is our guy over here, Freddie Polo, man. I gotta come blacked out because the Detroit Lions handled business last night. It's your boy, Brandon Day, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer, and we'll talk about that media day some other time. We got Lions on the docket, the vet of the squad right here, Flannel Sam. What up, though, man?
You know, I love
they
that.
beat the Seahawks. They beat the Seahawks. Finally.
You see how cathartic that is? Do you see how cathartic that is for these Lions fans? And I've got a lot more to say on the significance of beating the Seahawks in just a couple of minutes. But you know what I love? I love that with that opening video, of course, KG's wilding out, and then Neil's wilding out, and then all of a sudden you hear KG forward down the field.
Yeah.
That's how it is at those watch parties, because Hey Social, they actually pump in the forward down the field music
And
when they
it's
score
epic.
touchdowns. It's a hell of an atmosphere. And
What a weekend.
I mean, think about this. The Lions just won on Monday Night Football in the most anticipated season in Lions history. And on the day after, the Tigers play a playoff game. Playoffs? To quote Jim Mora. But what a time to be alive, people. What a time to be alive.
Wow. You know what, man? Shout out to that dude, Justin, and Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG. And the sound booth, though, I already mentioned them. You got Chase, intern Chase. I'm loving the sweater, too, bro.
Hey, appreciate it. I stole it from my roommate's closet this morning. So, Harlan, if you're watching, you're probably not. You're probably still asleep right now. But I took this out of your closet.
See, look, that's that Dan Campbell mentality, man. Anything for the grit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's rock. It's a Tuesday. In the Titty Booth, it is JB SMOOV, Woodward Sports' MVP, decked out in a Honolulu blue.
Oh, of course. You know I got you, man. Hey, shout out to the boys last night. Amazing game. I mean, I'm tired right now as it is, coming from Woodward and Maine, but last night's game, just staying up watching it and then watching you guys on the post show, it was a hell of a night, man. It was a hell of a night. That's all I can say.
Oh, man, what a night. And shout out Matthew Broder, our credentialed Tigers reporter and writer. Matthew Broder, blacked out.
Oh, let's
loving
go.
the look.
Let's go. How fun was that last night? Like, all the anticipation leading up to Monday Night Football takes so long to get to that game, and then they come out like that. Actually, it started not so great with the 3-and-out on the first possession after electing to receive. But after that, it was like that offense was unstoppable. They dominated on the run. Goff had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
And they won. They won 42-29.
Huh?
What a time. You said it. What a time to be alive.
What a time, man. Yo, and you know what? Beat the Seahawks. What's it been, 12 years in 6 games, I believe. Wow. To be able to beat that. And I know I saw some people, they were having a hard time with Aaron Glenn. I listen, you consider some of the injuries, and you consider the fact that Seahawks team has had his number. I'm like, you know what? That was a decent game, at least in my opinion. There was a lot of yards given up, but I am not here to bash on any type of Aaron Glenn right now.
No, this is not the day to talk about the defense or any of their flaws or Aaron Glenn or whatnot.
Nope.
They did what they had to do. It wasn't perfect, but you know what?
And they sealed the game.
Jack Campbell forced a very big turnover early on to give the Lions a short field to set them up with a 14-0 lead. You saw Kirby Joseph seal the game with an interception. You saw them get a big stop when the Seahawks were looking to go down the field and get within 7, which would give them a chance to score and then get the ball back after halftime. And that was after they executed that big lateral play, and the Lions still got that stop. So the defense wasn't perfect, but they did what they had to do. This first hour is basically about waxing poetic about this offense and talking about, just the significance of beating the damn Seahawks.
That's where I was going to go, because I just thought, you know what? You finished this kind of first quarter of the season 3-1.
Yeah.
This is kind of what they wanted to do last year. Lose no more than one game a quarter, and they're off to a good start after. And I heard Broder and Terry Foster talking about on Woodward and Maine, after playing really a tough schedule, 3 playoff teams across that first 4, and you are 3-1. This could have been much worse. And we talked about how it looks if they fall to 2-2, but the defense did just enough, and they're allowed a game where they give up a few more points after averaging only 17.6 points per game to this point. Why, though? Because Ben Johnson heard the noise, and Ben Johnson started to flex. And what I saw from the offense last night, even though not all the parts are humming at like peak maximum efficiency, what I saw last night should make all Detroit Lions fans very, very, very stoked. That was just like, yo, look, we still run this thing. I don't know what you've heard before, but my name is Ben Johnson. Nice to meet you. I got a quarterback named Jared Goff. Hey, David Montgomery, he's just going to punch you in the face. Don't take it personally, okay? Don't take it personally. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, welcome back. And J-Mo, Waymo, come on, man.
Looking like the J-Mo jersey watch for me is back on. It took a little bit of a dip in that week 3 win, but it looks like I'm primed to get that jersey, and I will be happy to rock it if J-Mo gets those 1,000 yards. But you know what? We've got a lot of time to talk about this offense. I want to start out, you know how Big D Energy has Rest in Peace Tuesdays? I'm going to have my own Rest in Peace Tuesdays because it's very prophetic that we are all wearing black. It's not just because the Lions rocked their black uniforms last night. It's because today is a Rest in Peace Tuesday. Rest in peace to the Seahawks being the Lions' boogeyman.
Yeah.
And before the game, I will admit, and even on this show, I was emotionally hedging a bit. I didn't think that the Lions were going to lose. However, I also was using terms like, it's not a must win. I get we really want to beat the Seahawks, but the Lions can still accomplish all of their goals even if they lose. However, I think this was just really, really big for Lions fans. You saw last year, even in the greatest season the Lions had in the Super Bowl era, they still lost to the Seahawks. The defense had all kinds of problems, stopping Geno Smith and the receivers. You saw the year before when one of their first games of the season was a loss to the Seahawks, and not only their defense was poor, but Jared Goff had a couple of pick sixes as well. You saw the year before that where they lost 51-29. You saw a playoff game in which the Lions lost to the Seahawks. The Seahawks just had the Lions' number for many, many years, regardless of the team, regardless of the situation. However, all of that ended last night. The Seahawks no longer have the Lions' number. The Seahawks are no longer the boogeyman for the Lions. The Lions pretty much, I don't want to say vanquished them because the Seahawks are still a 3-1 team, but just a symbolic win for these brand new Lions, and you just love to see it. The Seahawks are no longer the Lions' tormentors, and I just love to see it.
You love to see it because, and you know what is also poetic about it? Is that they did it in jerseys that many people believed are cursed. You can't win in those jerseys. But what did we say these Detroit Lions are? They said, hey, you know what? 2 birds, 1 stone. We are narrative busters. The black jerseys, we're going to kick a lot of tail in them this year. And Seattle Seahawks, you no longer own us. I don't look, I feel like this is a microcosm for the rest of the season because I believe that the only thing that could really slow this Lions team down was injuries, and obviously we see that chemistry as well is going to be another thing that they're going to, and rhythm, that they're going to have to get right. But the fact that they're performing like this right now, though they're not working like a well-oiled machine, that's why I'm really, really ecstatic. It's the beginning of the season. They have not hit their stride yet, and they're looking like one of the best teams in all of the NFL.
And here's the thing. we know that the Seahawks front four and their front seven in general was pretty much decimated last night. We understand that they were playing with, I guess, a third string right tackle. However, the Lions aren't going to feel sorry for anybody because they won the game despite no Brian Branch, despite no Frank Ragnow, despite no Iffy, despite no Derek Barnes. The Lions had their own problems that they had to deal with, and despite all of that, they got a decisive win against the Seahawks at home. Chase, how was that extra sweet doing that to the Seahawks last night, that the Lions did that to the Seahawks?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it feels good to just kind of beat them. I was thinking about the scene in Major League when Serrano just like, fuck you, Jobu, and he like just breaks his like little like shrine or whatever. I kind of feel like that's what the Lions did last night, and they just kind of like went out there and took business in their own hands. Sometimes
you just gotta, in order to really reach your goals, sometimes you just got to get through your tormentor, and that's what the Lions did, and I love to see it. Matt Broder, was it extra significant for you watching the Lions do that to the Seahawks, a team that had just had the Lions number for 12 years?
Yes. And it was how they did it. They dominated with the run game. And what does Neil say? Period. End of story. They dominated with the run game. It set up Goff's play action. The offensive line, I mean this with all due respect, you didn't miss Frank Ragnow last night. They played fantastic. I thought the offensive line dominated most of the day. To go out and do that against Seattle, who had a pretty good offensive day when you look at the numbers. I think an awesome win in this first quarter of football for the Lions. Now go take this bye week, get healthy, and come back ready to roll.
Yeah, I guess if you want to nitpick a little bit, which we're done with this after I say this. We're going to go all positive if I have anything to say about it. A running back did kind of go off against the Lions. Kenneth Walker, he had himself a day, and there's a reason why when he's healthy and when he's right, he's one of the best backs in the league. And he showed out. Geno Smith had a good game as well, but it just didn't matter because the Lions offense was clicking on all cylinders for the first time this season for a whole game. And you just love to see it. Wins in the NFL are hard to come by. I know some people are going to be a little irritated with how many points the Lions gave up in the second half, but I'm really not because it's the NFL, man. You take wins how you get them. The Seahawks might be a playoff team.
They might be, and that's why I value Jared Goff so much. The more and more that we see him win, the more and more that we see him win in big matchups against quarterbacks that other people would say, hey, they might have a bigger arm, they might be more mobile, they might be more talented, they put up all of these yards. I'm sorry, man. What I saw last night was like one of those microcosms. It was the prototypical game that you utilize to show people, look, there's something that you're missing about Jared Goff if what you want to see from him is 300 yards a game, 6 passing touchdowns. There is just something about Jared Goff under center that just makes this team different all the way around. I don't know quite what it is, but when they brought him in, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes spoke glowingly about him being not just the quarterback that can make every throw that they would need him to, but the type of leader he was, the type of buy-in that he was doing from the start. Before that, there was anything to really look at and say, you know what, yeah, sure, this is going to work. And so it's like for Jared Goff, I appreciate everything that he's continued to do to kind of shut out the noise, not just here in Detroit, but I'm talking about all over, and just continue to say, you know what, my stats are still going to put me up here, whether you guys want to or not, and I'm going to continue to go out here and pull together these wins for an organization that a lot of people didn't think could be done with.
Absolutely, and more on Jared Goff in just a second. But first, I've got to tell you about Planet Fitness. Hey, some of the Lions players, I'm sure, hit Planet Fitness this week, because if you hit Planet Fitness, you are going to be at your peak optimum condition.
We know the offense was there.
Absolutely they were. And it's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Are you dealing with divorce, child custody, or other family issues? You need excellence on your side. KDK Law in Birmingham has your back. Call Kevin and Catherine anytime, 24 hours, and you could turn a situation that might hurt in the short term to benefit you in the long term. All you gotta do is visit their website at kdklawoffice.com, scan the QR code above my head, and just get the services that you need. It's not something that you want to deal with, but trust me, if you go to KDK Law, in the long run, you will be thankful. That's KDK Law of Birmingham.
What up, though, people? Welcome back on this Victory Tuesday, that Lions Victory Tuesday. Man, what a victory. They finally defeat the Seahawks, and they did it convincingly because the offense was on one. Jared Goff didn't miss a single pass. He was perfect. Perfect, I might say.
Oh, yeah.
With you know, he supposedly can't get the ball downfield. He can't do a bunch of things. All I see this dude do is win. That is it, man. And I know you got some things you want to say about Jared Goff too, but just the leader that he was, it's not just a perfection in the stat sheet. This guy is a leader. I think you're going to continue to see his legend grow.
If you were to basically give me a choice of the exact offensive game plan, the exact way you start it, the way you finish it, the way Jared Goff played, it would look exactly like it did last night. I have absolutely no complaints. I wanted to see a complete game by the offense. I wanted to see it look like it did last year. And last night did not disappoint in the slightest. I mean, first of all, I loved, obviously they punted on their first drive and then they forced a Seahawks drive. And then the Lions took back possession and then executed a 12-play, 93-yard drive, took over 7 minutes off the clock. And the Lions, what did they do? They established the run. They demoralized a depleted Seahawks front. The Lions took advantage of it, even without Frank Ragnow. On that first drive, you got a steady dose of David Montgomery. Ran 7 times for 39 yards. Gibbs popped one for 20, and Monty punched it in from the 1-yard line to give the Lions a 7-0 lead. And what did the defense do? They got it back. Jack Campbell forced a fumble on DK Metcalf when DK Metcalf was fighting for extra yards. Carlton Davis picks it up and returns it to the 14. And then the Lions have a short field touchdown drive to make it 14-0. So that pretty much from there, the Lions were playing with the lead and cruising the rest of the way. I absolutely loved what I saw out of Jared Goff because at that point, with the run game established, with the whole playbook open, he was able to use play action. He was able to hit his receivers in positions where they could make plays. Because not only was Jared Goff perfect, 18 of 18, the Lions had over 200 yards after the catch. And Jared Goff, I think, did an excellent job of spreading it around. And I want to show you some examples because, of course, the most enjoyable one from last night was the guy that I've never wavered in my belief for, Jameson Williams. Of course, I'm just kidding. But I want to show you this JMO touchdown because I think it's a perfect microcosm of what we saw last night. Jared Goff stands in the pocket, throws a perfectly in stride to JMO, who gets it at his own 45, runs completely past Devon Witherspoon, and is able to high step from the 20-yard line. So that's 55 yards of yak from JMO. A perfect throw by Goff to allow JMO to make a play. And honestly, it was just beautiful. And like I said, he's high-stepping at the 20. Jameson Williams has that type of speed that very few NFL players have. Maybe no one, honestly, besides Tyreek Hill, and you love to see it. But it wasn't just Jameson Williams making plays after the catch. Show me that David Montgomery play, man, because that just gets us all bricked up. Look, much is in the clear at that point to pick up a big gain. Let's move on to another one. How about Sam Laporta? Because Jared Goff, he hit Sam Laporta on a screen pass. Look at this one, play action screen. And then what does Sam Laporta do? He follows his blocks. This one actually didn't have anything to do with yak yards, but show me that Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown because that is another big play in that game. There's another playmaker on this Lions team that I didn't know about. Some guy who wears 16.
I was going to say, I think you got to be a little bit more appropriate. It's not the Jared Goff to Amon-Ra connection. It's just Amon-Ra and Jared Goff have a connection,
look at this.
Period.
Look at this play. Hands it off to Amon-Ra on the end of route and then throws it back to Jared Goff for the touchdown. And that's honestly showing off at that point. You love to see it. It is absolutely beautiful. And not to be outdone, do you know who else you saw really show up last night? How about Tim Patrick?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was getting hyped, too.
You know who he reminded me of last night?
Who?
He reminded me of what Josh Reynolds did for the team last year. Tim Patrick had 2 catches for 52 yards, a 29-yarder, a 23-yarder, both first downs. He's that potential big body receiver who catches first downs, which is what Josh Reynolds was last season. And one of the things we saw when the offense was a little bit stagnant for the first 3 games at times is maybe Josh Reynolds unlocked everything. I thought that was a little bit of an exaggeration, but having somebody like Tim Patrick who can step in and fill that kind of a role is very, very valuable to this offense. So you love to see it. It was the perfect offensive game, and I think it just showed everybody doing what they do best, whether it's Goff, whether it's the weapons, whether it's Ben Johnson, whether it's the running game, even whether it's the pass protection with no Frank Ragnow. 42 points, man. The offense finally put together a complete game and looked like the dominant offense that we thought that it would be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and for me, that play to Goff, it goes beyond just being in your bag if you're Ben Johnson. Do you understand how much trust you have to have in a game where you realistically know this is a shootout to do that play? It's just like, wow, so many things can go wrong with the least of it being it's just not a completed play. But they executed that thing to perfection. And that to me is what I love about this team. As they're continuing to get that rhythm, as they're continuing to build that chemistry, to see that they can still go out there and put up 42 points. It was amazing. And you're right. It's because they can go out there and hurt any opposing defense in a plethora of ways. And JMO played a perfect role to open up a lot of the underneath and a lot of across the middle of the field type stuff for Amon-Ra and for Sam Laporta. And then when the defense has to cue in, all of a sudden, what happens when you get one perfectly placed Jared Goff pass to Jameson Williams streaking across the field? Yeah. No help on the backside.
There's nobody there. And like I said, he was able to high step from the 20.
Can we show that play one more time?
Yes,
bro.
Yes.
JB, if you can show that one more time, take a look at when Jared Goff throws this ball. JMO hasn't even crossed Sam Laporta. They haven't even crossed down the middle of the field. Jared Goff throws it where JMO is going to be, and it allows him in stride to high step it down the sideline for those last 35 yards. It was wild. It was great anticipation by Goff to hit JMO in stride. So it'll probably restart here, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see down the field, but he lets it go before they cross the center of the field. There we go. Hits him in stride. It was really.
Sheesh.
great to see them at that time in the third quarter. Remember that St. Brown touchdown pass to Jared Goff? That was their first drive of the third quarter, and this was third quarter, erasing one of those issues, at least for 1 week.
That's fair. And you know what that play showed when it comes to Jamison Williams, and as you said, throwing it to J-Mo before he's even really out of his break, it shows trust. That's something that there was concern whether or not Jared Goff had with J-Mo, even last year. It seemed like he got some down the stretch to end the season, but he has confidence that J-Mo is going to run his route where it's supposed to be, and Jared Goff was able to hit him as perfectly as you possibly can, because if that ball is even a little bit behind J-Mo, we don't know if Devon Witherspoon is able to make a play and get J-Mo down for like a 15, 20-yard gain instead of a 70-yard touchdown. So absolutely beautiful. Hey, but the way that it turned into a shootout, I mean, maybe it's not first world problems.
I mean, everything was necessary, including the 2 turnovers forced by the defense. Everything was needed. I believe, I know we're going heavy offense, but, I believe the defense obviously did just enough to keep that thing in check. But the offense just being in rhythm, the offense being confident, and that's the word. I think we all used it, is trust. Ben Johnson to be able to call some of these plays, and honestly to trust Amon-Ra to put that ball on the money. To know it was some of these calls against a Seattle team that started to charge, and you started to see K9 going off. I never saw any aspect of like rattledness. Like I know that there were some fans last night, and I saw our one, Maz. It looked like, at least to some people, that this was beginning to become like the same story. I remember last year, it was very, very similar to the Seahawks game, and we wound up losing down the stretch. But this was a squad that I just kind of saw and say, you know what, we're not having kind of some of those repeats in the past where the second halves were absolutely abysmal. The offense looked like they were clearly the better team, the best part of any part of that game, of either team, and I absolutely loved it. That's what we've been waiting to see from them through these first 4 games. And I think it's going to carry them through, really, the tougher parts of their schedule ahead.
Oh, it most certainly is, and it's not going to get easier for the Lions, and it's why winning last night was so imperative. And now that it's over, and now that I can stop emotionally hedging, I can really get the magnitude of it, because the Lions, they're not fighting to just get in. They're fighting for the 1 seed. And then you've got at Dallas, you've got at Minnesota coming up, so getting that win at home against the Seahawks to finish their first quarter of the season 3-1, 2-1 at home, you can't overstate just how valuable that win was, and just how great it was to see this offense really show out. And to just further your point on the whole throw from Amon-Ra to Jared Goff, I guess that's the Detroit special to pull from the Philly special. That was, as Broder said, right after the Seahawks had cut the lead to 7. If that play doesn't work, and this isn't to say anything bad about Ben Johnson, it shows that how much trust he had in his players that they were going to be able to execute. Because if it doesn't work, we're clowning them. We're saying, why are the Lions trying to get too cute? If Jared Goff drops that ball, it's like, Goff in his tiny hands. What are you doing throwing to that unathletic oaf? That's what we'd be saying. And I'm not saying Jared Goff is that. I'm saying that's what we would be saying. So the fact that it was able to be executed to absolute perfection, the fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown has more touch on his throws, I think, than Alex Orji does. Shows a lot. I love to see it.
We can talk about it.
No, we can't.
But that's the thing. You're encapsulating exactly what I'm talking about. It didn't look like a cute play. It looked like this is who we are. Get ready for mother effing anything. That's what I loved about it. It was just like, this is who we are. I got it. And to see, honestly, just one more thing on Jared Goff. We saw the tapes of him practicing the mobility, and we posted one of those clips during the offseason, and it blew up because everybody was like, way to go, Goff. Now, we've seen this guy's legs come through in crucial moments this season, whether it's scrambling for a first down, whether it's scrambling in the pocket to avoid a sack and to be able to throw it, or whether it's using your wheels and your hands to go and catch a touchdown. Like, Jared Goff has made some incremental improvements that I wonder if he's not using his legs. I know it's not a ton, but do the Lions pick up maybe an L along the way, another one? Each one of those plays has been so crucial for him, and I'm glad that he's not just resting on what he was. He's still taking steps to get better.
I mean, with Jared Goff, it's never going to be about him running the ball consistently, because I still think I run a faster 40 time than him. And that's not a shot. That's not a shot. But what Jared Goff does have, being a veteran quarterback, is he has pocket presence. He knows how to avoid the rush. He can feel the pressure. He can step up. He even got out of a couple, I would say, what looked to be certain sacks early on in the first half when I was on the watch party with Neil. And you know what? That's really all you have to do. Even though he's not mobile by traditional standards, he's got pocket presence and occasional pocket mobility, and that's all you really need, especially with this offensive line that, when they're healthy, is going to keep Jared Goff relatively protected, at least you think, sometimes very protected. That's why this offense is so good. At every level, they can kill you.
Hey, you know what? There's not much better than celebrating a Detroit Lions win, especially over those darn Seahawks. Man, they finally beat the Seahawks. But I can tell you about something else that is the best. It is Premier Pet Supplies, hands down Michigan's best pet store. And they're offering you all the same conveniences and the prices of the online and the big box retailers, with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. And they're carrying over 60 brands of food, and they got nutrition experts to help you. They got same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Visit them online as well. www.premierpetsupply.com.
And a pre-show.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell you guys about this. The next Lions home game, you know where the best pre-game show is going to be? Hey, Detroit's very own second best bar. We want you guys to join us, located at 42 Watson Street, for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pre-game show, only at Second Best Bar. Come get some.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Company, it's that Tangerine Space Machine. It is the easy drinking IPA, which is out of this world. I'm telling you, the flavor in this drink right now, so smooth, so juicy, refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic haze of goodness. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is official beer of outer space.
Hey.
It's official, I'm telling you guys.
So they have heard
right
about
now.
this one in Mars then.
They know about this one in Mars. They know about this one. It is brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan, so you can support locally. Grab yourself a can today.
Hey, you know what? And I'm sure they also know about that Jared Goff touchdown catch last night, because who didn't? Let me tell you guys about Sabbath Coffee, though. It's time to fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awaken and wine. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And we are back. So wake up, Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the WUW Crew on this Lions Victory Tuesday after they trounced the Seahawks. We had to at least show our guy Aaron Glenn a little bit of love, man.
Oh yeah,
that was absolutely exercising some personal demons last night against the Seahawks for him. But it was awesome to see the Lions just kind of handle business. Jared Goff, perfect. Yeah. The offense just beating you in a plethora of ways. You know what? They're putting a lot of things on tape that I'm hoping defense are sitting back like, man.
Yep.
It's a lot to count for.
Oh, yes. It was a brilliant offensive performance. And before I go to Chase and JB, I just have to address this. This is from Truck Brewer. Tell Sam Goff's 40 time is the same as Purdy's 4.84. He's losing that race. I'm obviously kidding. Jared Goff would beat me in a 40 time. Maybe that was a little bit of an unnecessary stray that I shouldn't be giving to Goff the day after his brilliant game. I'm just... sometimes you use a little hyperbole because we can all agree that Jared Goff in the traditional sense is not mobile, and that's fine, by the way. He's good enough for Detroit.
Speak for yourself, man. That's Vanilla Vic.
And you know what? After that, I see Freddie Felt in the chat calling him Jared Moss. I've seen Randy Goff. And you know what? I always appreciate it when people use sort of what I do and use it for themselves. I'm proud of you guys.
Let's
I'm
go.
proud of you,
Dick
Freddie
Campbell
Felt.
energy.
Dick Campbell energy. You love to see it. But Chase, what did you see out of the offense? How impressed are you with how they performed yesterday?
I mean, I thought they played well. They played consistently. I mean, you literally cannot ask for anything more out of what Jared Goff did as far as like passing the football. No Frank Ragnow. I think the run game performed really well. Obviously, like we know how much better it can be when we have our anchor on the middle of that offensive line. But I mean, I have no complaints about what I saw last night from our offense at all.
No, you mentioned it with Frank Ragnow being out. I mentioned before the game, I mentioned it on this show, and I also mentioned it on the watch party with Neil, that I wanted to see who would get the better of who. We had Frank Ragnow being out at the center position for the Lions, the best center in the NFL, and you had a very depleted Seahawks front seven. Who would get the better of whom? Whose injuries would affect their respective teams more? And I think that the Lions got the better, especially when it comes to run blocking, because quiet is kept, and I can't believe I'm saying this about Jahmyr Gibbs. He's quietly had himself a hell of a start to the season. 3 games in a row with at least 78 yards rushing and at least 5.2 yards per carry, including 78 for 5.6 yards per carry and 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday. I was talking about Gibbs on the air with Neil, and it was just like, man, he's just shot out of a cannon. When he gets a hole, it's beautiful to watch, and he's got more power than you think. He's shifty between the tackles, and when he really gets loose, I can't wait to see him really get loose for a long one, but the way that he's played recently, the way that the line has opened up holes for him, despite even yesterday Frank Ragnow being out, it just shows you. You got to give a lot of credit to Graham Glasgow and Coyote Awosika as well. No Frank Ragnow, no problem.
Yep.
No Byron Murphy, no Leonard Williams, no Boye Mafe. Big problems for the Seahawks.
Yeah, and for me personally, I'm going to continue to talk about it. For a squad like the Lions, the things that you have to worry about that will keep them from reaching their goals realistically is injuries, knock on wood. So for me, and I've talked about this since preseason, it was all about, you know what, how is this team set up to be able to overcome those injuries? We talked about the fact that they had some big injuries to the secondary, big injuries to the offensive line, especially late in the season and going into the playoffs. Offensive line-wise, they were able to hold the fort down. That's an elite unit. But secondary-wise, it was a little tough. This year, they did a lot to try and shore up and add to that depth, but even more so, to see guys like Josh Pascal, Malcolm Rodriguez, and those that stepped up on the offensive line as well, it's like, you know what? Not just what they tried to do in free agency, but also what they're getting in terms of internal growth from these players. It's cool that they're able to depend on that and get them through a game against the Seahawks. Not like a whatever squad, let's call up some players or let's depend on some players, get some guys from us. I mean, this is a big game. This moved them to 3-1 and a much different, outlook than what 2-2 would have been for this team. So.
I mean, you mentioned it with the players stepping up, but it's not just that these random guys stepped up. It's guys who have had experience. Malcolm Rodriguez was a starting linebacker in 2022. Coyote Awosika had to start some games last year, including the NFC Championship game when Jonah Jackson was out. So I'm not saying that you ever want a Derek Barnes to miss multiple weeks or Frank Ragnow to miss a game, but you've got guys that can step up. And for the record, I'm not saying that Brandon Joseph was a world beater or anything like that, but you didn't hear his name in terms of, oh my God, what's this guy doing out there? He's getting lost. I think he played fine as well. You saw Kirby come up with a big pick again. Shout out Spencer Raxter. His prediction is looking very, very good right now that he might lead the NFL in interceptions. And he's also been very good in coverage as well. So it's next man up in the NFL. Nobody is going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's feeling sorry for the Seahawks because the Lions had their own problems and they just dealt with them better.
Yeah.
JB SMOOV, how did you feel about the Lions win yesterday, particularly the offensive renaissance?
Oh, I thought the offense did a really good job, as Shay said as well, too. I mean, there's nothing more you can ask for Goff. This was his breakout game, in my opinion, that I think that you wanted to see from him. Hell, the man was perfect. Damn near perfect all game. And no matter what, I truly believe that he knew that he was that perfect going into that final quarter, and he didn't want to mess anything up. So it was just like, all right, let's just keep everything basic, the simple throws that, are easy to get out there and adjust and make. Then they went back to their bread and butter of just running the damn football with the two-headed monster of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I love this team, man. I love this team, and I love this team moving forward. Just the ideas that they have, especially with Ben Johnson as well, scheming up all these things. Dude, this is perfect. This is a recipe for success, a recipe for the Super Bowl, might I say.
I mean, honestly, though, and you mentioned it with Jared Goff wanting to stay perfect, when you're running the ball the way that the Lions are, when you're have an offensive coordinator like Ben Johnson who's going to scheme up some of the most brilliant plays you'll see in the NFL in today's game, when your first read is usually open, and when you saw the amount of yak yards that Lions receivers were getting, Jared Goff, I think, was just making the right decisions for the team, taking what the defense gives him, letting his playmakers make plays, and just picking the Seahawks apart. It was beautiful to watch. Matt Broder, I know you made your thoughts known in the previous segment, but that offense, man, I know you've been, in particular, one of the biggest Goff supporters, even when he's had his struggles. So how does a perfect performance land for you?
Perfectly. Perfectly. No, everyone ate last night on the ground. Literally, Jared Goff caught a touchdown pass. But when you think of how we spread it around to St. Brown, to Laporta, to Tim Patrick, even Brock Wright, and Khalif Raymond got in the mix. He was spreading it around to everybody. The offense looked balanced, even if it was 60-40 rushing to passing, whatever it was. It was just a perfectly called game by Ben Johnson, I thought. And all the plays that they made, and doesn't sound like we're going to be talking much defense, they did make timely plays on defense when they needed it. Like that forced fumble from Jack Campbell on DK Metcalf's, it was a third down, and DK Metcalf had just got the first down. And there's nothing worse than when you're fighting for extra yardage, or someone on your team is fighting for extra yardage, and then a turnover happens based off that. You're like, man, we love that, but maybe pull back a little bit. To have that happen, to have the return from Carlton Davis go down, into the red zone, and then get a quick touchdown from Jahmyr Gibbs, that was their second drive of the game. That was to me the defining moment of the game and where Detroit won the game.
I mean, the NFL is all about who makes a play.
Yeah.
And honestly, if Jack Campbell doesn't force that fumble, the Seahawks probably at least get a field goal, and then the whole complexion of the game could end up being different, and maybe the Lions don't win. And that's not to do the whole ifs and buts thing, but funny transition there. It just shows that big-time players make big-time plays. Yes. And I'm not saying that Jack Campbell is a big-time player yet, but he projects to be one. If the Lions are going to reach their goals defensively this season, he is going to need to take that step. And that's the type of play, man. When you look back at the season, when you look back and maybe they win the 1 seed or get the 1 seed by one game, you're going to look back at that Jack Campbell play and say, well done. I'm glad we picked you at 18.
And last thing, if you watch that return, the fumble return from Carlton Davis, you'll see names like you almost didn't expect to see out on the field for a big play like that, like Peko, Wingo, Ben Neiman. You look at the back of their uniforms as they're running the other way. You're like, where's Anzalone? Where's Hutch? Where are the stars? But no, that's what this team is turning into. Guys like Malcolm Rodriguez being consistent and making plays. Guys like Jack Campbell now stepping up while Carlton Davis is running the ball back. I love seeing stuff like that.
I think the word is trust. And you know what? I want to get into the next segment. I know that we might talk a little bit more Lions and potentially push the power rankings, but we'll deliberate about that. If we do talk Lions, we'll give a little bit of love to the defense and one Aiden Hutchinson as well. among other things. But let me tell you about Lady Jane's. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Just scan the QR code. It's on the screen somewhere. All you gotta do is scan that code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
Braylon that was your premier pet supply man. Just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Detroit on game day. Wake up with Woodward in Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions, with insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward in Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, you got to watch the pregame show. Get your pregame information from these guys in the upper right-hand corner, the most trustworthy men you will ever see. I mean, just look at those faces. And it's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Belegian bring you the best Lions pregame show, Sunday 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
Oh, I know you made some money last night, and hopefully you were using the Caesar Sportsbook to make that money. What if I told you you could sit here and place a bet up to $1,000, and if that bet doesn't hit, you get your money right back in your account? I know you would think I was crazy, but I'm telling you the truth here. Scan the QR code on the screen, use code Woodward1000, deposit up to $1,000, and place a bet, a minimum bet of just $20. And if that bet does not hit, they will put that money right back into your account. Hopefully you didn't need it last night if you put their money line on the Lions, and also if you took Neil's get right with that Lions -7.5 and Seahawks +13.5. You doubled up your money right then and there. Use the Caesar Sportsbook, the only sportsbook for us here at Woodward Sports. And don't forget to use that code Woodward1000.
Hail Caesar.
Hey, and we are back as Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for kicking off your day, your Lions Victory Tuesday with the WUW Crew. Shout out to Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, normally in the sound booth, not with us today. Shout out to that dude, Justin. Got intern Chase in the sound booth. Woodward Sports' MVP, JB SMOOV in the TD booth. TD booth to be a little bit more formal on this Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday.
Hey, we got our Credential Tigers reporter and writer, Matthew Broder, in the building, looking also nice in that Lions shirt.
Forward down the field.
Let's rock. Freddie Polo on the desk. Fed of the squad. And it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. Your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer. But we're talking about the Lions right now. And we're going to talk a little bit more Lions. We are going to push back the power rankings so we can give these Detroit Lions a little bit more attention. L13 said, how about them Lions? Well, how about them Lions? And I know we give a lot of attention to the offense. We do got one Mr. Aaron Glenn up there on the back wall. And I think that you give a lot of attention to the offense because to start this season, they haven't necessarily looked the way that we thought that they could look. We, through training camp, we saw that they were kind of in rhythm. And then after the first 2 games, you hear Dan Campbell say, you know what, it might take them 5 or 6 weeks to get things right. So to see them go out there and have a performance like that against a nemesis and to pick this team up, I love that this squad is showing that when they get it all together, they're going to be darn near unbeatable. But that whether it's the offense or whether it's the defense, you can depend on one of those units to pick this team up.
I think the best word I would use to describe the defense is timely. Was it perfect was it dominant like it was the first 3 weeks? Certainly not. But when you look at the first half for the Seattle Seahawks, I count 5 possessions in 7 points. And that allows the Lions to go into halftime with a 14-point lead. And that's pretty much means that the Seahawks will be playing beat from behind the rest of the game, and they were. Like I said, not perfect, but 7 points in 5 possessions, you would take that any day of the week, especially when one of them was that big forced fumble by Jack Campbell on DK Metcalf, which led to a short field touchdown by the Lions. So great defensive performance in the first half. And I understand there were too many penalties. I know Terrion Arnold, he did not have a good day when it comes to committing penalties, and that's putting it lightly. However, the best part is that the Lions still won the game, and I know there's things that they're going to need to clean up, and Terrion Arnold, he's a rookie, and it's only going to go up from there. I suspect that he's going to, well, they're going to Dallas, so I don't know about that. More on that in the next couple of weeks, but I expect moving forward that he's going to be more penalty-free. He's a handsy player. He's going to have to clean some of that up, but within the rules, it's going to work for him long term.
Yep, and I saw Sauce Gardner on X. He also said that he thinks he's going to be good, just he has to change a few technical ings, and he thinks that TA is going to be good. And for me personally, I believe that these are, again, first-world problems. We're not talking about, cornerbacks of the past for teams that weren't really meeting expectation. We're talking about a defense that's been largely really, really good to start the season, and he's been thrown to the wolves. You're talking about a rookie who's been absolutely you will learn in the fire. You will take on this responsibility. You will learn on the fly because for this team to be what we want them to be, TA has to be ready when the playoffs come around. And so it's there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be a certain focus on him as rookies. We already know that. And then the types of matchups he's going to be in, they're not hiding him. They're saying you go out there and you do what we know you can do, and some of that's going to be a learning curve. He's going from college to the NFL. There's things to clean up.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, there's things to clean up, but largely, I like where TA is trekking.
You know what Terry Foster said that the Lions should do with Terrion?
What up, though?
Said they should cut his fingers off. Just slice him right off so he can't get flagged for those. No, he's handsy, but I'd rather him be aggressive and handsy like this to start his career than the reverse. You see him, he's there to be able to draw a flag. We don't want penalties, but how many times in the last, we'll call it 10 years, have we seen Lions DBs just nowhere near the receiver, not even close to cause a penalty or to draw a penalty? Terrion Arnold, he's at least there. We saw him on that play in the back of the end zone. I forget who the receiver was. It was Lockett or JSN.
Yeah,
he's there. He's around there making plays. So I'd rather have to tame him from his aggression than have to push him to be aggressive.
Yeah, I heard people saying things like on some of those plays like, oh, well, no, that was just a bad pass. Or he didn't really knock the ball away even though he was right there. And I'm just like, I don't think you guys understand. Maybe the pass was a little bit off because Terrion Arnold and the level of physicality he plays and his ability to kind of be there. So sometimes you're going to get those flags. I wonder if we break it down, how many other times is he sitting right there and he's the reason why maybe a pass is just a little bit off as well. And that's why I'm saying, I will take this. If you have to start somewhere with TA, I will start here rather than saying, yo, this guy's he can't stay with the receiver. He can't jam anybody. He's not physical. He can't tackle. He can't keep people in front of him. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that there's some technical things he has to clean up on as it relates to defending some of the better wide receivers in all of the NFL.
Well, and with Terrion Arnold, you're going to give up some plays, particularly as a rookie corner. You're going to be giving up plays for the rest of your career, even if you're Sauce
That's
Gardner.
a great point.
Even if, you're Darrelle Revis back in the day, even when you were Deion Sanders back in the day, you're going to give up plays. And no, I'm not saying Terrion will ever get to those players' level. My point is that, especially as a rookie, I think you've seen enough to know that this guy can play. I think he did a really good job in the Rams game, limiting the receptions, because you saw how inefficiently Matthew Stafford to a Cooper Kupp that combination was, even though they made some big plays. You saw Terrion Arnold do a really, really good job, I think, against Marvin Harrison Jr. In this game, I think if you were to take the good with the bad, you'd say that Terrion probably didn't have a good game. I think that's fair with all the penalties. He gave up some plays, but he also made a couple. You mentioned that play in the back of the end zone. I remember a tackle in which because he's going to do that well no matter what, in which he limits I believe a screen pass or a swing pass to a yard or two. So when you're a defensive back in the league, whether you're Terrion Arnold, whether you're Carlton Davis, you're going to give up plays, especially when you've got DK Metcalf on the other side, who got his and played well himself. But the point is to make the plays when you need to make them. And that's what the Detroit Lions defense did. You saw it in the first half. You saw it even in the second half, because coming right out of the second half, it was, let me pull it up, but it was pretty much a shootout from there, because the first half the Lions only gave up 7. But in the second half, this is how the drives went. Seahawks touchdown, Lions touchdown, Seahawks touchdown, Lions touchdown, Seahawks touchdown. So definitely an offensive shootout.
Yeah.
And then the Lions had to punt. And at that point, it was 35-27, and the Lions were giving the ball back to the Seahawks. And that was the one moment in the game where I'm like, uh-oh, the defense has got to do something. And then what did they do? They forced a punt themselves. That's why I say timely. And then the Lions didn't let the Seahawks score the rest of the game, because the Lions then got a touchdown off of the Seahawks punt. The Lions forced a turnover on downs, and after the Lions gave up an unnecessary safety, which, didn't hurt them, Kirby Joseph, interception in the end zone, again.
Yep.
Day that ends in Y, right? So the defense wasn't perfect. The secondary has to clean some things up, particularly Terrion Arnold, but they did enough to win, and that is good enough for me, because in the NFL, you are going to have to win games in a wide variety of ways. You're going to have days where your defense doesn't show up. You're going to have days where your offense doesn't look so good. Look at the first 3 weeks of the season, and they were still able to win 2 of those games, and they were able to win more of a shootout type. Any way you want it, the Lions can beat you.
Like you said, shootouts happen, and although they give up yards, they gave up some points, that was just in the rhythm of the game, the tempo of the game. They did just enough to keep them far enough away. And what's key, remember what I talked about, a key matchup yesterday when we were at Feldman? It was DK Metcalf versus Jamison Williams in terms of big plays. Who's going to have the big plays? It was a shootout game on offense, but the biggest play they gave up was a 29-yard reception to DK and one to Tyler Lockett, a 28-yard rush from K9. Those aren't short plays, but J-Mo had the 70-yard big play.
Yeah.
When you can turn the field like that, when you get the defense, a tired defense right back on the field after something like that, that's how you affect the game in a shootout. Like, they just didn't let DK go half a big 70-yard touchdown pass. They were able to limit those plays. They got their yards. They got some points.
Yep.
But they did what they needed to do. Shout out to Amik Robertson, too. When you have guys around you, you don't have to play a perfect game, too. Amik Robertson, he had a great pass breakup on Tyler Lockett and a couple really nice tackles in the flats on the running back. So shout out to Amik. We don't talk about him enough.
And Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis played tough.
There was some flags, but I thought he played ultimately tough. And I know that there was one play that Decaf got on him. Yes, Decaf Metcalf. And he kind of spun the ball, kind of did his whatever. And then that very next play or 2 plays later was Jack Campbell punching the ball out and Carlton Davis just running down the sideline. And it's like, you know what? Like you stated, bro, as a cornerback, it doesn't matter if you're a Super Bowl winning cornerback like Carlton Davis. It doesn't matter if you are a rookie. Plays are going to be made on you. But you got to have that short memory. You have to have confidence that you are training and that those skills will be things you can depend on. And that's honestly, it was kind of the microcosm of last night's game. When you look at the rookie and Terrion Arnold and Carlton Davis as kind of this vet with a Super Bowl ring, those plays are going to happen. I believe largely TA is going to be okay. Handsy, Sure, but I think that as he gets a little bit more mature in his game, a little bit more understanding of the techniques that the different wide receivers utilize, his ability to stay with the wide receivers, he's going to be able to better play the ball and kind of see a reduction in those flags.
No, and he's shown enough that he can play. And we all know Carlton Davis can play. And I even mentioned it on the watch party with Neil. When DK Metcalf got that big play on him to set the Buccaneers, Jesus, the Seahawks up inside the one. Carlton Davis, and this is no disrespect at him, he's not the caliber of corner that can mark DK one-on-one for an entire game and not give up any kind of play, because those players are few and far between. There's only a couple of those in the NFL, if that even.
In like the NFL's like last 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah, because DK is a freak of nature.
Yep.
However, Carlton Davis also made some plays. You mentioned Amik Robertson. Amik Robertson's primary responsibility last night was Jackson Smith-Njigba. And Smith-Njigba also made some plays, but he also had only 51 yards receiving on 8 receptions. You'd take that any day of the week. And Amik Robertson, man, we talked about unsung heroes for the Tigers. We might be looking at Amik Robertson as maybe one of the most underrated players on this Lions team, period, when it's all said and done, because we don't talk about him a lot. But in some ways, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Some ways, that's a good thing, because he's not giving up anything of consequence either. The best thing you want to do as a corner is to just limit your receiver as much as you can. And I think Amik Robertson has done a fine job of that so far this season.
Yep, and shout out to Aiden Hutchinson as well.
Yeah.
Didn't show up in the stat sheets, but the broadcast continued to point out, that this guy is a disruptor and having an impact on this game. We talked about it during one of the breaks where Geno Smith had a guy down the field, really could have put some air underneath it and got the first down, but because of the pressure of Aiden Hutchinson, which is not going to show up in the stat sheet, Geno Smith had to change up just a little bit, and they left it just short and brought up 4th down. And it's like, and he's been having this type of impact, whether he's getting the sack or not, for a few years, but this year it's been even more, because now you see teams recognizing, you know what, we believe that Aiden Hutchinson is leveled up. That means that we now have to get the ball out quick, and that's something that Geno Smith was doing last night as well. And just to, with the canine stuff, that guy, it was just him. How many times did he run into a defender, run into the wall? Nothing was there. So the first line of defense did its job for the Lions, and then he just made a spectacular play. You're not going to run into too many canines in this league.
No, you are not. And I just want to, of course, I want to talk about Aiden Hutchinson as well, because I'm Flannel Sam, although today I'm Freddie Polo. I think it's safe to say, and this is definitely a backhanded insult, I think Aiden probably played his worst game of the season so far. Big deal, because the first 3 games were Defensive Player of the Year caliber, and he didn't get home, I understand, but what Aiden Hutchinson will always have is that motor. He's got those pass rush moves, and he will be disruptive. He did blow up a couple of plays, and sometimes that's all you need from an edge rusher, because believe it or not, despite what they tell you, nobody gets a sack every game. Nobody. Name any defensive end in the history of the NFL. Nobody averages 1 sack a game. Not Lawrence Taylor, not TJ Watt, not JJ Watt, not Reggie White. Doesn't matter who you
2026, 27, Aiden Hutchinson.
We'll see. We'll see. But over the course of their careers, each of them obviously had seasons where they did that. So yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, I thought he was good enough to be a contributing factor in a Lions win. And sometimes that's all you really need from your future Defensive Player of the Year.
Detroit Lions victory, man. It feels so good. And they finally beat the freaking Seahawks, man. What a day. And chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this thing. Go on ahead and smash that like button. Let's run at the likes on this Lions victory Tuesday. And I think I got to tell the people about what, Dr. Pierce?
Yep, Dr. Pierce.
You know what? Let me tell you guys about one Dr. Pierce. Attention, sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your current insurance provider reviewed. Why? Swiss Insurance will make sure they're not slipping in anything extra.
Thought I told you that
Hey.
we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Hey, listen, they're the protection insurance agency. All you got to do is call Mark at Swiss Insurance today. That number, 313-530-1698, or visit them online, swissins.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you. And we are back. And you know what? We asked the Detroit Tigers to please give us this one thing. This one thing. If they made the playoffs, we actually get October in the D. Yep. And guys, let me listen. I do not care if you like baseball or not. I do not care if you would like Lions Talk to go on. We got playoffs in Detroit on the legendary Woodward Avenue. And do you understand how crazy yesterday was? Let me just put this in perspective. I got a small. Let me
rephrase that.
Yes, small what?
Yeah,
rephrase.
Now I got to rephrase it because I'm gonna say October in the D. I got to experience October in the D just a little bit. Detroit Pistons, right? Media Day at LCA. What's also going on at the same time?
What?
Red Wings were getting started. So there's a Red Wings game going on. What's also going on?
What?
People everywhere in the city because the Lions are downtown. And what's also going on? The hype of the Detroit Tigers, man. This is epic right now. And now we have Detroit Tigers playoff baseball the next today, Wednesday, Thursday, and hopefully beyond.
Hey, you know, when the Tigers put that 2-0 ass whooping on Houston, we won't have a game Thursday, right?
Talk about it.
Okay, obviously.
No, I'm fired up. No. That's the clip. No rebuttal. Clip it. No rebuttal. Clip it.
Man, now I'm going to sound like I'm disrespecting the Astros.
Clip it.
However, Matt Roeder, here's where I want to start, and we can get into the individual matchups in a second. The pitching matchup of Tarek Skubal versus Framber Valdez is just a treat. Whether you're a baseball fan, whether you're a Tigers fan, whether you're an Astros fan, these to me are the two best starters in the American League going at it in Game 1 of the Wild Card Series. Just how much fun is that going to be for you to watch as a former left-handed pitcher yourself? Oh, and by the way, they're both lefties.
It's a dream. It's a dream. You have the best pitcher in baseball who's on our team, who's on the Tigers, going up against Framber Valdez, another really impressive southpaw, one of the better ones. I'm actually with you. I think he's the second best pitcher in the American League right now. And he's a lefty, which the Tigers have their issues with. It's so much fun to watch. That matchup is great. Skubal versus Yordan Alvarez. That's a matchup that gets me bricked too. This is postseason baseball. We just had a victory Tuesday. We just had a victory half of the show when we're pivoting to Tigers on October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I encourage you, anyone who's not a baseball fan, like Kool-Aid said, give this team, if you're ever going to watch a game, try to sneak this one in at 2:32 on ABC. It's going to be a show.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely. Oh my gosh. I am hoping that the Detroit Tigers do everything in their power to make Flannel's prediction come true and that we get an opportunity to experience playoff baseball in Detroit again.
I don't
in
know.
the city.
I don't know if it's my prediction or maybe me just flexing a little bit. But
I'm trying to will this. I'm speaking it into existence.
I would love to see it. But here's
Yeah.
where I want to start with this. I want to start with the potential matchup of the Tigers offense versus Framber Valdez. And we all know I've got the numbers. So
Yes.
I'm going to give you the numbers in a second. But this is why I'm so happy to have you on the show, Matthew Broder, because you've got some insight into being a left-handed pitcher because you did it at a very high
Look
level.
how he perked up, man. You just bring up pitching and look at Broder. Look at him.
What makes Framber Valdez special? Like, how can he neutralize this Tigers offense?
The movement on his pitches. He's a lefty who throws 94 to 97, but he throws his four-seam fastball, his straightest pitch, 1.5% of the time. He throws his sinker, his two-seam fastball, 46%. So he's getting ahead. He's throwing strikes with movement. So with the Lions, a pretty lefty. Their main offensive players are left-handed hitting. That's tough. When a ball's running in on your hands, you're a left-handed hitter, the ball's coming in on your hands, that's difficult. So Framber Valdez, he's going to try, like Tarek Skubal, to get ahead in the count early, but attack these lefties on the inside portion of the plate. And then he throws a curveball, curveball 31% of the time. So he works both sides of the plate. A sinker, a two-seamer going in on lefties, and then a curveball going out. Keeps them off balance, Flannel.
Yeah, and like you said, I think you broke it down great. And Framber Valdez, as we said, he's one thing that I think people are getting a little too over their skis about. And I'm not trying to sound like Neil Rule yesterday. I just want to warn people. I know I just flexed and I puffed my chest out a little bit, but this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
We can't call game one an auto dub. I know some people are saying, we got Skubal, it's an auto dub. Houston Astros might have something to say about it because there are a couple ways in which Framber Valdez can beat you from a numbers standpoint, which he's got the pitching technicalities, I got the numbers. It's just kind of how it works there when it works here when it comes to baseball. What Framber Valdez's presence will bring in game one is it pretty much deems Kerry Carpenter irrelevant. And Kerry Carpenter on a per game basis is the Tigers' best hitter. The problem is that, bless his heart, and I really didn't want this to be true. I really tried to fight against this. He can't hit lefties, at least yet. Did you know Kerry Carpenter this season has a 932 OPS, which is phenomenal. It's all-star level. Damn it, if they had it, it would be all MLB level kind of player. However, against lefties this season, Kerry Carpenter's OPS is 408. That's Javi. With all due respect, that's Javi. He's basically Javi Baez, but worse against lefties. So that means that A.J. Hinch might not even play Kerry Carpenter in the lineup. That might be where you need an Andy Ibanez or a Justin Henry Malloy to step up. And that's where A.J. Hinch is going to have to work some of his magic. So that is going to be tough. And don't get me wrong. This isn't a shot at Kerry Carpenter. Hitting righties is one of the most valuable things you can do in the MLB because this season the Tigers have faced righties for about 4,200 at-bats and lefties for about 1,300 at-bats. So hitting righties is valuable. Not going to help you against Framber Valdez.
Yeah.
And I want to pose a question to you guys. Would you care to guess which Detroit Tigers player in the lineup has the best career numbers against Framber Valdez? There's a chat member that actually hinted at it earlier. Anybody have a guess?
I think I know what it is. I'll let you guys guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Chase?
I'm cheating. I'm trying to look in the chat.
That's fine. That's fine. Broder, who is it?
Is it Torkelson?
It is Spencer M.F. and Torkelson.
Oh, you mean a.k.a. X Factor?
X Factor.
There we go.
The man in his career has an 804 career OPS against Framber Valdez in 16 plate appearances. And that's huge. This is where he's going to have to step up and prove that he belongs on this team in the future. And what's the best way to do that? By getting Tarek Skubal some run support today. Because when you look at it, Riley Green, 657 OPS and 11 plate appearances. Matt Vierling, 697 and 13. You got Andy Ibanez, 697 and 17. And Jake Rogers, 650 OPS and 11 plate appearances. And if nobody else really has any significant at-bats against Framber Valdez. And when you look at Valdez, he did face the Tigers once this season, and he got the win. It was a 5-2 win. He went 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. However, in that game, you saw Matt Vierling get a 2-run double. You saw Torque get a double. You saw Andy Ibanez, who we have him just for moments like this, get 2 hits off of Framber Valdez as well. So I guess my point with all of this is that Valdez could neutralize your greatest weapon because Kerry Carpenter destroys right-handed pitching, won't help you against Valdez, and this is one where you might have to see Torque step up. You might have to see Torque step up, you might have to see Andy Ibanez step up, you might have to see Vierling, and you know what? Riley Green, even though he's had some struggles against lefties and didn't get a hit against Framber Valdez and his at-bats against him this year, big-time players got to make big-time plays in big-time games. So the Tigers have a tremendous opportunity. It is just not going to be easy.
And old Jarhead in the chat says, Tigers aren't good enough for the playoffs. It's going to be a short run, but it was fun. And you know what? We got more Tigers that we're going to talk about because I know we got to get into the next segment. I'm just going to let y'all know from our perspective, everybody else in the studio perked up instantly, including Chase. We're going to talk about it. Hold it. We're going to talk about it. Chat family, get active. I want to know what you guys think. Short run? Are they going to look like they belong? Are they going to win a game? You let me know. We're going to talk about why the Tigers absolutely have a chance because we'll talk about it. Where are we going to go, JB Smooth?
We need to go to Salvation Army and let's stand.
Absolutely.
Right,
have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7th and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com. Hey, volunteer and then get yourself a car. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. boys, men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, let me tell you about the New Holland Brewing Company watch party and the post-game show brought to you by Woodward Sports. It is live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. You guys continue to ask, how can you be a part of the watch parties? Well, now you can every single Detroit Lions game. We want to see you guys out there, man. It is a great time. You can come, eat, drink, have fun, get interviewed. As you heard Flannel Sam say earlier, and us say plenty times before, every Lions touchdown, you feel like you're right there in the stadium as you hear the Lions fight song for down the field blaring, the Joe Louis horn blaring, and it is absolute pandemonium. And we want to see you guys down there. And if you can't, make sure you're tapped in to Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. All of this is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Talia Local Laundry, 1800 Tequila, Soroki's, and Sabbath Coffee. And right after the watch party, instant reaction and analysis and phone calls by you guys. Hosted all by Stick and Anton. All on Woodward Sports Network. Continue to stay tapped in to this, you know what I'm gonna call it, Lions victory season. Let's go. And we are back as Wake Up Woodward. And now we're talking to other Jungle Cats, man, because both of them right now are a little bit perked up. It ain't no malnourished cats around here, JB Smooth.
All right.
Not
good.
at all.
It's good to know.
But we're back. It's Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, go ahead and smash that like button. We're talking about the Detroit Tigers, who are playing, they're playing a freaking playoff game, man. Think about how unlikely this all seemed just a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. A month ago, we were like, you know what? Good on the Tigers for playing better.
Yep. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And before we went to break, Chase, you were jumping out of your shoes to jump in.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it was to that question. You want me to reset that question really quickly?
Yeah, tee it up. We talked about this before.
Because I saw Broder, everybody, Flannel, JB, everybody perked up. Old Jarhead. Tigers aren't good enough for the playoffs. It's going to be a short run, but it was fun. What? Detroit fans.
Go ahead, Chase.
Oh, I remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think all of you guys in the room said you'd rather the Tigers make the playoffs and get swept for the Lions to get the 1 seed. So, I mean, not that the Tigers are going to get swept, but if they do, does that immediately pencil in the Lions for the 1 seed based on what you guys were saying? Because you didn't think that they could do it. So, I mean, the Tigers made the playoffs. I think we should be excited and hopeful that they can get it done. I think this is going to go 3 games in the series, and I mean, I think we might get Tigers in the ALDS, and I still think the Lions 1 seed's on the table. So
I feel like with the Tigers, they're a team that is kind of made for this time of year. Obviously, they have some deficits. They have some things that they got to get right. But when you got a manager like AJ Hinch, and you've seen that this team can get the best out of small ball, and then they can also, when they need to, you think about the different, think about this season, all of the big moments and all of the big home runs you can think of, the situational hitting. And then when you talk about the pitching, because to your point, yes, we have to pay our respects to the other opponent. It's the playoffs, and it's the Houston Astros. We understand that they got that championship pedigree. But when you have Scooble that can go out there and give you a great opportunity to win the game because he's only going to let up maybe 2 runs, that's why the Detroit Tigers are going to be able to do more than just have a little bit of fun in these playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I saw some people in the chat maybe think I was giving Framber Valdez too much credit because I saw you're an actual Astros fan. However, how do you like this? The Tigers will see your Framber Valdez, and we will raise you Tarek Skubal. Because Tarek Skubal is the pitching Triple Crown winner this year. He's going to get the Cy Young, and he is the best pitcher in the American League. And Broder, now that the pitching Triple Crown is wrapped up, now that the Cy Young is a virtual lock, how was Tarek Skubal able to do what he did this year?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I do. It just, the consistency that he's shown from day one to today has been special. Like, we've talked about it ad nauseum. You expect him to just have, a 6-7 run, horrible day where you can't find the strike zone, or he walked 5 batters, but that never happened. It never happened. It's special. Now he gets to lead this series. He gets to open up the wild card series against a really good lefty too, against a really good veteran lineup that the Astros have. It's balanced. They got some speed. They got power. They hit for average. What they want to do is set the table for Jordan. They want Altuve and Bregman to get on base and for Yordan to drive them in. They're going to make it tough on Skubal. They're going to try to get to him early, try to see a lot of pitches early in the game. We know Tarik Skubal likes the first pitch strike. He likes getting ahead, but can he put him away early? Not necessarily with the strikeout, but can he get a ground ball early in the count? Can he get a fly ball early in the count with his changeup? It's going to be key having Tarik Skubal go 6, 7, ideally 7, 8 innings today. Take us to the 8th and hand it over to Tyler Holton.
You know, I want to give you a couple of numbers, and I want to get your chance to respond.
Yeah,
Vinci Broder. I talked about how Framber Valdez's presence pretty much renders Kerry Carpenter ineffective, maybe not even on the field. However, you talk about Yordan Alvarez. You talk about this Houston Astros lineup, which has Alvarez, which has Kyle Tucker, which has Altuve, which has Alex Bregman. 4 guys who are perennial all-stars, but not just that. 4 guys who have postseason experience in droves, having some of the biggest hits in Major League Baseball over the past 7 years or so. So they're not going to be scared of the moment. They've also got a couple of rings, as Chase says, 2 of them to be exact. But, Broder, how do you like these numbers? Yordan Alvarez in 12 career plate appearances against Tarik Skubal. He's Javi, 450 OPS. Kyle Tucker has 5 plate appearances against Tarik Skubal. He is 0 for 5. What do those hitters have in common? They're lefties. So what makes Tarik Skubal's stuff so filthy that he can even neutralize 2 of the best left-handed hitters in baseball in Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker?
He's not afraid to go inside on the lefty. He can attack with all his pitches, but when Tarik Skubal took the next step in his career, he got that bulldog mentality. He started throwing on the inside half of the plate against lefties, really challenging guys like Yordan on the inner half with his 98, 99, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but also throwing that changeup on the inside of the plate. You don't see it often, but when he wants to keep lefties off balance, he comes at them up and in hard, and then he goes with this soft stuff away, whether it's his cutter right on the opposite edge of the strike zone, or occasionally he'll throw a slider too. But when he's on and he's getting ahead early and he's throwing inside to lefties, it opens up that entire strike zone for him and makes him nearly unhittable. Because when he's tunneling his pitches, they all look the same. And it looks like a fastball's coming in you on the inside half of the plate, and all of a sudden, it's actually a slider on the outside half. That'll get him.
And I wanted to get your reaction to those numbers, and like I said, nobody in this building can break down pitching, especially left-handed pitching like you, Broder. But
Mr. Southpaw.
Absolutely. But one other thing that I wanted to bring up as well, and this is something that I actually found out this morning. Did you know Yordan Alvarez, he hasn't played since September 22nd, sprained his knee. He is considered 50-50 to even be on the wild card roster for the Astros. I'll tell you what, if you could avoid Yordan Alvarez, that might be the key to the Tigers winning this series, because I've told you about how he struggled against Tarik Skubal. Unfortunately, Tarik Skubal can't pitch 18 innings in 2 games back-to-back. So he's going to have to go up against somebody like a Reese Olson, for example, or a right-handed reliever. How much does that swing the series if Yordan Alvarez doesn't play?
Massive. He's one of the biggest thumpers in the MLB, right in the middle of a lineup. He'll go down as one of the better left-handed hitters we may ever see. Yep. As long as he stays healthy. But if he, for whatever reason, has to miss this game or miss any time, it does appear like he's going to at least try to play.
Yeah.
That's huge for them. Their lineup and how the Astros are going to try to score runs changes drastically if he's not in there in the 3 or the 4 hole.
Now, it would, like I said, it could be an absolute killer for them. However, let me be fair, because the Astros, as I said before, they've got some dogs, and they've got some dogs who have ate in the postseason numerous times. And how good Tarik Skubal has been against the lefty Houston Thumpers, he struggled against the righty Houston Thumpers. I mean, Jose Altuve. We all know Altuve, former MVP, one of the greatest postseason heroes of modern MLB baseball, one of the best hitters. He might go down with 3,000 hits someday. He's gotten Skubal a couple of times, a career 1280 OPS in 13 plate appearances. Wow. And Alex Bregman, not to be outdone, has an 1,000 OPS right on the dot in 9 plate appearances. So that could be a problem. But I will say this. Not all of those at-bats came against Tarik Skubal this season. And I understand Tarik Skubal in half a season last year was dominant, but this year he has put it all together. And I'm mindful of Bregman. I'm mindful of Altuve. Hell, I'm mindful of Alvarez if he plays, and Kyle Tucker as well. but this is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball, and I'm confident that he could get anybody who has ever walked the face of the earth who hits, whether it's Babe Ruth, whether it's Barry Bonds, whether it's Ted Williams, whether it's Ken Griffey. Tarik Skubal can get them out.
Yeah, Eric Allen brought up a great point in the chat. Partly why Altuve might has had some success against Skubal. He loves being aggressive and swinging early in the count, going after that first pitch. And we know Tarik Skubal is best in baseball at first pitch strike, throwing that first pitch strike. That's not always a good thing, and we've talked about it before, being the pitcher with the highest percentage of first pitch strikes, because that means every hitter is going to be looking for it. But what Tarik Skubal, what makes him special is his ability to throw strikes around the strike zone, not just right down the middle, not just in the center of that heat map, around the strike zone with all of his pitches too. So he may start with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. He may throw a cutter on the outside part of the strike zone, or he may come inside with the slider. He can do it all. He's just got to make sure not to make a mistake early on Altuve, because he'll hit it out. Man will hit it out.
Oh, Jose Altuve is one of the best hitters I've ever seen. I mean, that's just showing respect.
Yeah, and I'm not going to discredit or discount who the Detroit Tigers have shown us over the last month and a half, being one of the best teams in all of baseball for some time now. I think that counts for something. And Skubal, what more needs to be said?
Nothing.
Nothing. Although Chuck Brewer brings up a good question. Sam, what are the numbers versus Skubal since the last month of last season? I don't necessarily have those, but I do have the numbers of when Tarik Skubal pitched against the Astros this year. And to be fair, Tarik Skubal was 1-1 with a 4.26 ERA in 2 starts. 1 win, 1 loss. Didn't pitch his best ball against the Astros. And in those games, in the first start in which Tarik Skubal got the win, Altuve was hitless. So that might, I'm just saying, maybe Jose Altuve is finding out that there's levels to this, that Tarik Skubal has to turn it up a notch. However, Alex Bregman did have an RBI single in that game, and Yainer Diaz, the very good catcher for the Astros, had an RBI single as well. And in another start Skubal had against the Astros, the Tigers did unfortunately lose 4-0. And in that game, Bregman tripled, Altuve had 2 doubles, and you want to know why baseball is stupid? Mauricio Dubon hit a home run off of Tarik Skubal, one of his 4 this season. And when I say baseball is stupid, I say that affectionately. You'd agree with me on that. It's more of it being random. So Tarik Skubal has had his struggles against the Astros this year, but I'm rolling with my ace. I'm confident that he can at least neutralize the Astros, at least have a quality start. I'm confident that he will have a quality start, and then it's up to the Detroit Tigers hitters to, hit some mistakes off Framber Valdez, because as great as both pitchers are, you never go through a game mistake-free. It's about taking advantage.
It's well stated.
Well said.
It is. I mean, it's Detroit Tigers playoff baseball is today. 2:32 is official start time. We are going to have a watch party today. I believe that starts at 2 o'clock.
2:32.
No, the game, but I believe the watch party, I believe Ermanni and Edwards are hosting it, so their show starts at 2 for the first half hour. I believe that they're going to be going over Lions, and then right when the game starts, they're going right into Tigers.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you would want out of those guys. And hey, man, shout out to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. They've got themselves a golden opportunity to be right in the time slot of these watch parties, and they've been very successful. And with the playoffs coming up, they're going to be even more successful.
And I'm sure we're going to get some more some more epic drops from Maz.
Oh no!
I'm sure
that last one was epic when they clinched, or the game before it.
I mean, what if the Tigers actually trail in this game? Maz may or may not have a mini meltdown.
Tune in.
Although,
oh my gosh, tune in.
I can't say. Although, to be self-aware, I had more than a mini meltdown when Michigan was leading at the half of the national championship.
I was trying to help you so much.
But we don't need visual evidence of it actually happening. Cloud my point about Maz. So
I remember that, man. I remember one time you went to the bathroom and they got like a big pick 6, and you came back like, oh, what?
Yeah, so anywho, that's neither here nor there. But you know where is here, there, and everywhere? Shout out the Beatles. Boys and Girls Club of America.
Hey.
That was a epic transition by me, not to pat myself on the back. However, the Boys and Girls Club, even more epic. They've got clubs all over southeastern Michigan. You can register for their football league at 3C Sports at BGCSM.org. They've got locations in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. And if you get to the championship game, you even get to play at Ford Field. Are you kidding me? Some future Lions might be in that bunch. Why not? You know, a lot of good athletes come out of the Detroit metro area. So if you're a parent, sign your kids up. Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan.
This is our own freak out party.
To get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
How would you like $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with the QR code and bring it into any Dispo location, and you'll get a free $10 to spend in store with a minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug. And hey, get yourself some weed with some tequila. That sounds like a Friday night that I want to be a part of. Although I'll just drink the tequila. 1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, and celebrate the wins with SMOOV 1800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
Party at Sam's Place.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's your boy Brandon Dan K. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed business reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam. Today, ever more appropriately, as we're celebrating the Detroit Lions victory, that right there is Polo. Freddie Polo today.
And if you didn't see, myself, Kool-Aid, and Broder are all dressed in black to signify the funeral of the Seahawks being our tormentors.
Narrative busters. And they did it in the black jerseys. I mean, when they first announced them, all they did was losing them. Shut up.
I guess
Dan Campbell knows what he's doing.
I guess the Booth Boys didn't get the memo. We're both wearing
No,
them.
that's okay. No, we're just wearing our helmets. Wait, somebody's outside. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Dog. Devin the Dog's in the building, man. What up, though? Pride of Inkster, man. I'm fired up now. Shout out 51 Clothing. What a day. But you know what? let's not belabor this thing, man. Let's spark a word to this for Mr. JB Smooth.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, smoother than 1,000 bottles of baby oil from Johnson & Johnson is JB Smooth.
Let's get prehistoric.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Chase, we gotta get you better with that intro,
I know, I
man.
messed up that one a little bit. But
I was like, baby oil, wait a
smoother
minute.
than 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Whoa.
The $10 kind?
No Diddy. No Diddy going on here at all.
Well, let's
no
rock.
Diddy at all. But man, it's been an amazing weekend, and you know, you guys, you know how much we hate Dallas, but did you know that even kids hate Dallas?
No, you lying. You throw that away.
Oh, let's go. That's a kid we don't boo. That's a kid we do not boo.
Is that Aiden Diggs getting mad he's got a Cowboys jersey? That's Trayvon's kid.
We cheer them kids.
See, we applaud these kids.
Oh man, that's the way you train up a child. You get Kool-Aid Dad stamp of approval there. There you go.
That's hilarious.
See, even kids don't like Dallas. How crazy is that?
Because why would they?
I know, exactly. Why would they?
The kid's dressed, he's fly. The kid's looking sharp.
He's looking pretty sharp. He's looking a lot better without that Dallas jersey. Just saying. But anyway, so moving on, I got to ask you this, Broder. Have you ever checked a runner when he's been on base and it goes wrong?
Have I ever checked a runner when he's on? I think so. I think I know what you're talking about. But what are you about to show me?
This one do that.
Well, this went completely wrong. But then again, Broder, you let me know.
Oh! Is that what's the guy commentating it?
That's Bob Menery.
Bob Menery. So that's why, kids. That's why you wear a cup when you play baseball.
Wear a cup,
He
everybody.
actually said that on air?
No, this is like a guy who does voiceovers of like this stuff.
Okay, I was sitting here like, he said that? I was like, wait, what?
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, no, he got pretty big. He does voiceovers of like plays like this, and he's like, this is what you like. This is what we're saying at home. You know?
It's raunchy.
I got you.
Yeah, but no. Whenever I would pick over to first base, I would usually get the runner off base and then get him out. So avoid the crotch area.
What to say? Did you have a good pickoff move?
I did.
It's a lefty.
I did. You get a free out if you can steal an out from the other team, control the base pass. That makes you a better pitcher.
Absolutely.
I was second in the Big Ten in pickoff.
I'm guessing the count was 2 balls, 1 strike.
Damn, Chase.
Damn. With the zingers.
Got him.
That hurts.
Our chat is on one.
What's going on?
They're just on one. Phil's comment. It's like, I'm like, okay, thank you. You'll see it.
I'll look over and try to see it in a minute when I can.
This is for Phil's comment.
You saw it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're gonna hit it a couple times.
Oh my god. Shout out to Phil, man. Appreciate you. Continue, please.
We appreciate you, Phil. Man, I don't know what's happening in the chat right now. But let's just move right along. Just move a little bit along. You know what? I think I'm going to throw down this dunk. What do you guys think?
Oh, let me see this. Oh, no.
Oh.
Rim job.
That's how D'Angelo Vickers lost his
Fast forward down the field. You see a live.
Kind of cute. That's not Kristen Harper, is it?
No, that's not Kristen Harper.
One more time, bro.
That's how D'Angelo Vickers lost his head. He got decapitated in The Office. Will Ferrell's character.
Yeah.
That's how he's supposed to be deceased.
Man.
Oh my gosh, dog. I don't know who her friend is in the background. That's just like, oh, you can't do that, dude. Stop her ahead of time. Everybody should have been a good friend and said, you know what? Just sit this one out. Sit this one out.
Just remember, no matter how athletic you think you are, no matter how badass you think you are,
not.
You can't do everything that a man can. People aren't gonna like that.
Oh my god.
You look away. You okay over there? I thought I could take a water break. I was sitting over the dog. I almost spit all my water out. Jeez.
Yo, I didn't know Harrison Butker was in the studio. We knew he was a Chiefs fan.
Jeez.
Yeah, are you sure you got the 15 jersey at home, or are you rocking the number 7 in the closet?
Damn it, I just walked right into the Chiefs fans allegations again. Not the Chiefs.
But quick pivot to get out of that craziness right there.
Freddie Polo on one.
Freddie Polo is on one right now.
And to be fair, Megan Hind or Hind in the chat says neither can you. I've never been able to dunk and I'm 6'2". So what does that say about me? So to be fair, but I could dunk on that hoop. Because that one thing was about like 7 feet. But anywho, that's fine. That's fine. Just you saw the results when
Somebody
you
was hating on the dude for not catching her. That's her own fault.
I was about to say what
can you do?
Dive in front of like
no, hey, we'll dive together. This ain't the Titanic. Come on, what are we doing?
I just want to see him keep talking about it.
Let's just move on. Let's try to move on from this as quick as we can. I will end what's trending with this. Man, no one ever told me that resistance bands were low impact.
Oh!
Ooh.
Just dance it out, girl.
Play it off. Oh! I see you dapping the dog.
She just tries to Jared Goff twirl it off, you know.
Yeah, see, it was a Jared Goff twirl.
That's what it's like trying to tackle David Montgomery.
Oh my word! And then the ability to just kind of, you know what? Let me just play this off. This is what happens when you show up to do workouts, and it's about being cuter more so than the workout. Goodness gracious! Because look at this. Stay committed. Dance it off for the gram. Come on, man.
It's all for the gram. It's all for the gram, you guys. You gotta admit that. That's it for what's trending. Let's hop into some mailbag. Or you know what? We got Devin here too.
Hey, Devin the dog is in the building, man. It's good to see you. He got the big old Detroit Lions something, man. He was just showing all through the window. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, come get in this camera here.
Look, so being a vendor,
let's rock.
Get a privilege of wherever they throw away in Kroger's or wherever they throw it in the back rooms. I was like, I'm gonna add this to my backside. I was like, wait, this Brothers last week.
Let's go.
Let's go and do something I don't do on a daily basis. Detroit Lions, brother, you got a week, man. Detroit Lions get a win. Tigers in the playoff. I think you told Neil this back in July that they were going to be in the playoffs. I think you up.
Factual.
2-0? 2-0?
Yes. Oh, and the bunting dub, too?
Sorry,
Chicks dig the bunt.
No, that's all right. No, I you know what? I like to let my man fight his battles. I'm more in line with Neil when it comes to philosophically, but at least I gave credit when credit was due, which Neil is allergic to.
Allergic
to.
Yeah.
I know uniquely. Trust me.
Unique New York. Oh, man.
Devin the dog is the man. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
Bro, appreciate it. Love you guys.
Love you, brother.
I'm about to get back to work, man. But you know.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
This is why we do this, man. It's for our chat family, and it's cool to see them go from just being in the chats to being people that we honestly have good camaraderie with and support, and that continue to support us. People like intern Chase, who was in the chats for a couple years, just supporting, and now here. So it's awesome to see, man. This is why we do this. Continue to support not just the WUW Crew, but all the Woodward Sports, and the good people that continue to do work, man, whether they're here or not. It's a lot of good work going on. Man, I keep forgetting. I see you in the chat, Ryan's reaction. Golly, I keep forgetting. But let's get into the mailbag. Let's get into the mailbag.
First, JB's got to tell you about Soroki's.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I do have to tell you guys about Soroki's. I almost forgot about that. But once again, how could you forget about Soroki's? Come on now. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pieces has a new limited time offer just in time for this football season. Soroki's is debuting their fresh signature flavored wings, as you can see right there on screen. I'm sure Flannel and the guys had a bunch of these at Sage Social the other day for the Lions game as well too. You know what? Pair these wings with some fresh salad or New York style pizza as well too. You can try 7 of these different flavors that they have right now. You can always order online today at Sorokis.com.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. And hey, a house and a car in the same day? Do it at Mark White and Feldman. And since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
And what up, though, people? We are back in this Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you guys for kicking off this Lions Victory Tuesday with the crew. And you know what? We want to hear a little bit more from you guys. It is now time for the Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feldman mailbag from IT Hips. Do you believe the Lions versus Vikings Week 7 matchup will decide who has home field advantage in the playoffs?
I don't foresee the Vikings getting home field advantage no matter what, even though I'm higher on them than most. I will say this, if the Lions win, I think that could go a long way in them getting it through the entire playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those games, in the first half of the season and the second quarter of the season that we're going to look back on and be like, all right, that helped shape the NFC North and that home field advantage in round 1 at the very least.
Definitely.
Dante151, Feldman mailbag. JB, how do you feel about Monday Night Raw going to 2 hours instead of staying at 3 hours? Also, that Lions-Seahawks game was more entertaining than the Dolphins-Titans game. That's for sure, Dante.
Yeah. You think?
Oh my God.
Also, reminder, JB, Dante151 did beat you in fantasy this week.
You know what? I have not even looked at the scores. I was a little too preoccupied.
That's what I'm here for.
I thought I would have, won this one out because I did have Jahmyr Gibbs, but unfortunately he had Amon-Ra and J-Mo, so the Lions combination back-to-back kind of screwed me over there in that one. But I'm happy to see Raw go to 2 hours. I think 3 hours was a little too much. It was kind of like a little bit of overload of wrestling, in especially one night as well too, and then you got to follow that back up with NXT, and if you watch AEW as well too, the next 2 nights after that. So moving to 2 hours, I think, is a perfect little sweet spot. And yes, I started to watch that the Dolphins game, Dolphins and Titans. it was just boring. It was god-awful boring, and it was just hard to watch. I'm just upset at all the Tyreek Hill owners in fantasy right now. He got you, 6 to 8 yards yesterday? This is terrible.
At one point, Jared Goff had more receiving yards than Tyreek Hill. When he had like 1 catch for 6 yards, Jared Goff had 1 for 7.
That's so wild.
I should have read this on the last one right after. But Ed O'Neill, Feldman mailbag. After the Lions win last night, are you more confident that they can go into Minnesota and get it done?
Of course. Yeah, the stacking up wins is important. And if they would have lost, which thank goodness we don't have to deal with that, you would have been looking at these next couple of games as, if they can't beat the Seahawks at home, if they can't beat the Bucs at home, how the hell are they going to go to Dallas and Minnesota? So absolutely gives me a ton more confidence.
Definitely more confidence. I would have still been okay if they would have lost that game against the Seahawks, but how can you not be confident, a little bit more confident after a win against a formidable opponent?
100%.
Going to combine 2 here. Devin Ferris, Feldman mailbag. Do you think the Lions are missing a piece? If so, what piece are they missing? Also, Herb Nash, Feldman mailbag. At this point in the season, what area could the Lions use and upgrade the most?
I feel like teams are always missing a piece. I really do. I think that when you win a Super Bowl, it's not because you're perfectly constructed, but obviously, anytime you can try and get some help opposite of Hutch, that's always going to be a good thing.
That's what I was going to say. With Davenport's injury, I think maybe at the trade deadline, the Lions do make a splash. Or even if it's not a splash, let's just see who's trying to sell, who maybe fell short of expectations and needs some cap relief. That's where Brad Holmes is going to swoop in, and I think it will be for an edge rusher.
Yes, Mason Leach, Feldman mailbag. Michigan's a 2.5-point underdog to Washington. Yet 88% of the public vote is on Michigan to win. Does anyone think Michigan wins, or is Vegas onto something?
I think they win, but you also have to take into account that Michigan haven't done themselves the service to be favored. And going to Seattle is tough, which is something that Big Ten teams haven't had to deal with until this year. I mean, you saw USC having to go. I mean, you saw Washington having to go to Rutgers in Piscataway, New Jersey. So these are unique challenges. And, say what you want about Will Rogers, but at least Washington has a functioning quarterback who's had success in the SEC. Chase?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our guy Justin, a.k.a. Jesus, is going to that game with his dad. I'm pretty sure he's talked about that before over the summer. I might be mistaken, but I think he said he was going to watch Michigan at Washington.
That'd be it's a really fun road trip.
It's a total Jesus move.
Or not even a road trip, probably a flight. But that's that man, he does things. I'll just say that. Lots of things, lots of festivals, lots of games, but he's young, man. So
he's living life the right way, man. And he's enjoying exactly what he's doing here. I love it.
To be young again. I'm not even that old, but I'm certainly not in my 20s anymore.
That's right, man. And go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue. That guy up north, Feldman mailbag. If you have to target one free agent for the Tigers, who you getting? Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman, Marcel Ozuna, Flannel? Is there any other name that stands out? I don't want to spend too much time on the Tigers off season because we got a big game coming up.
Is Skubal a free agent?
No, we got 2 more years.
2 more years of him?
We gotta try to find more pending free agents whose names kind of sound like penises.
All right, Chase.
Well, I mean, isn't that the whole joke with Jesse Winker?
How about you go get your ass Corbin Burns?
Yeah, Corbin Burns would be.
Tell me why not.
Corbin Burns and Corbin Burns. We could have what the Baltimore Orioles should have had if they would have had brains, at least in their front office. Wouldn't that be irony? I mean, it's like porn to me. Hey, Jesse Winker here would be, but if I'm being dead serious, it kind of depends on what you want. If the Tigers want to be more Moneyball, Jesse Winker is the perfect candidate. If they want to go out and spend big, why not go after Corbin Burns? Why not even give a blank check to Juan Soto? That would make me happy as well.
Please.
Oh, my God. They'd win the World Series.
Maybe a Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah.
Let's bring them all in. No. Mason Leach. How about another one from Mason Leach? What is everyone's prediction for the Tigers game today? Feldman mailbag, Tigers predictions. What are we thinking? A win and a score?
I think they're going to win 4-2. I don't know why. I've just been feeling that 4-2 Tigers. Scubal's going to have a dominant performance on the mound.
I was going to go 3-2, and what I could see happening is the Astros bring in a right-handed reliever, and the big hit to give them the lead comes from Mr. Riley Green himself.
JB, that.
What's up?
That clip of flannel.
Oh.
It's like.
I mean, it's like porn to me.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go lower.
$24.99.
2-1. 2-1 Tigers win. Dominant effort from Skubal. Tyler Holtland comes in and closes the door in the 8th. Jason Foley closes it down in the 9th. They win game 1, 2-1.
Oh,
let's go.
Houston.
So you get a win and you get a pitching duel between two of the best lefties in the game. Hey, cue that up, right?
Yeah.
Cue that up.
I mean, it's like porn to me. Yes.
Let's go. It's Tigers playoffs. Like, this is so surreal right now, especially the day after a Lions Monday Night Football win.
Yeah. Oh, my
This is awesome.
Robert Yaniak, Feldman mailbag. Will Detroit go to Jerry's World and beat Dallas?
Yes.
Yes.
Week 6.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Exercise the demons this year.
Yes.
Exercise it. Hey, listen, they beat Kyler Murray, who was supposed to be a mobile quarterback. They finally beat the darn Seahawks, and they need to go and get a win in Jerry's World.
Because just as much as the Seahawks are the tormentors, going to Jerry World has certainly not been kind to the Detroit Lions.
Beat them by double digits.
You might have to. You can't leave it in the hands of the officials because we saw how that worked for the Lions last year.
And in the playoffs.
And in the playoffs that one year.
Dallas.
Des Bryant came onto the field with his helmet off.
Running. Bro, I remember the game. I remember being in my own living room looking just as crazy as he was, running around like, is nobody going to throw the flag? Is nobody? Because you know what's stupid? Those are the types of plays we would get flagged for.
I know. And honestly, I despise Des Bryant to this day. And you know what I love? The fact that his career fell off a cliff after 2014. Suck it, Des Bryant.
Des did not catch it.
That's what you get. You did not catch it. I know that it benefited the Packers and nobody wants that. But you know what? You got to complete the process.
Sometimes.
And we as Lions fans aren't going to cry a single tear because we experienced it with Calvin Johnson. I get it. It's levels. It's week 1 of the regular season versus the playoffs. But nobody's going to feel sorry for Des effing Bryant.
Sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
He ran onto the field with his helmet off, and he actually got the refs to change the call. You know what? That's fine. Got my blood pressure up a little bit this morning, but that's all right.
But I used to feel pity. Right now, I'm just feeling like, oh yeah. It's like when you finally have grown up, you find your bully. You're not looking to really hurt anybody, like how Flannel doesn't wish harm on quarterbacks. But when they test you, it's just like, okay, you know what? This one's for you running around with your helmet off. This one's for picking up the flag. This one was for Taylor. He reported. I just, it's like, man, I don't know if I'm besides myself right now that they're beating the Seahawks, but now I'm like, do this to all of them.
Do you see what the Cowboys do to us up here? Those memories.
I hate the Cowboys.
Just like take us. I had a really civil, fun show, and then they brought that up, and then you got the meltdown that you wanted. But at least it's a harmonious one.
Listen, they're next on the roster. They're next on the menu. That's it. And the Lions are going to eat. I'm sure the sea chickens tasted great.
Yes, and exercise more demons on the way to finishing it off in New Orleans in February.
Any more mailbag questions?
That'll be it, Mr. Aid.
What a day.
Just beginning.
I almost threw the ball to you. Say, man.
That could put some equipment at risk. But
let's not do that.
Oh, man, it's been a show. Thank you, chat family. This has been epic. It's been awesome. I am cherishing every single second of this show, especially this week, man, and these opportunities. It's been an awesome thing. Shout out to you, brother, man. But
the chat is awesome, by the way.
They are, man.
The support for the show. Obviously, there's some kind comments to me. Let's have an amazing week. This is like the greatest week of sports I could ever ask for. So let's have fun.
Listen, if it had to happen this way, at least it's with our Tigers on a high note.
Hell yeah.
It's with our Lions on a high note. It's with our Red Wings on a high note.
Yep.
The Pistons cleaned house, and you know what? They're talking kind of gritty. We're going to see what it is, man. We're going to talk more about them tomorrow, but today and the rest of this week, it's about our guy, Mr. Matthew Broder, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. But shout out to Detroit's #1 draft pick, that is KG, normally in the sound booth, as well as that dude, Justin. Still, those guys are part of the WUW Crew, and they work hard every single day for Woodward Sports, so shout out to them. In the sound booth, you know, let me do this right. The wonderful, the stupendous, the immaculate, hard workers, dogs, better than the rest. Do I need to go? JB's still
keep
looking.
going, keep going.
He's still looking at me.
Keep going.
I'm talking about these guys. If they don't do what they do, I don't know if Woodward Sports can do what it does. Shout out to intern Chase in the sound booth. What up, though, brother?
What up, though? Hope everyone continues having a good Victory Tuesday. We'll get back at it tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned in for Big D, Ermanni and Edwards, and Woodward Heavyweights later throughout the day.
Hey, shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth. It's a Tuesday. Hey, booth, it is. JB Smooth.
I mean, it is a Tuesday. What can you say? Amazing win from the Lions last night. Hey, you deserve this week off. Rest up, get well, get healthy. We got the Tigers to look forward to later on this afternoon. Stop by, check in to Ermanni and Edwards as well for that watch party. And Broder, remember, you still got to drop your OnlyFans link.
Oh, yeah.
People want it.
Oh, yeah. Hey. That'll be quite the feat when I start an OnlyFans page.
Let's go.
Feet.
Let's go.
Shout out
Get all the Bro-Rilla content on
Bro-Rilla, Grilla. I'm a killer. I got this killer
Bro-Rilla.
up inside of me. Sorry.
Let's rock. Let's rock. Hey, this right here, the vet of the squad. Normally Flannel Sam, but it is, we're celebrating Lions victory. So that is Frederico Polo.
I love it because that's how you know the Lions got to win, when I come in with a polo instead. But such a big week. Imagine within a span of just a few days, we could have the Lions getting a big Monday Night Football win in the most anticipated season in Lions history and a Tigers playoff series victory. I don't even know if I can handle it. But you know, we will handle it, and we will be covering it better than any other outlet here at Woodward Sports.
Be tapped in. Be tapped in. The watch party gets started at 2 o'clock with Ermanni and Edwards. They will be recapping the Detroit Lions victory over the Seahawks, and they're getting right into the watch party for the Detroit Tigers playoff game. And you got schoolboy in them out. Like the person I'm going to bring up next said, I don't care if you like baseball or not. This is worth the watch. Do not put on the D hat, man, if it's not about these Tigers at the very least, especially when they give you an opportunity to go and see some good baseball. Shout out to our credentialed Tigers, and did a whole lot of credentialed Lions work for this network. That is one, Mr. Matthew Broder. Shout out to you, man.
Let's go. I expect everyone tuning in at 2:30 for this live stream. If you're not working, well, you guys are here now and the workday started, so I expect you here at 2:30. Honestly, it's an epic left-handed pitching showdown. Let's go Tigers. Eat them up. Why not this Tigers team? Seriously, though, why not?
Talk to him.
The magic, baby. Yep. It's magic.
Let's rock.
It's October.
Let's rock, man.
My favorite month, too.
Hey, you know, it's been a show, man. It's been a show. Stay tapped in with all of Woodward Sports. I don't even know if it's Detroit Kool-Aid. So, hey, it's been a show. This is Wake Up Woodward Chat Family. As always, you all are the most important part of this thing. Smash that like button. Share this thing. Follow everybody and support. See how much it means to us. Have a great day, yo. Go Tigers, go Lions, go Pistons, go Wings.
Our own freak out party. Get boo! This is our own freak out party. Get boo!